Hello, friends. As we know, there are lots of things happening at the international front nowadays. As we saw one of the meeting with the Ukrainian President Zelensky with the President Trump, J.D. Vance, and whole cabinet sitting in the Oval Office. So let's speak in the past to understand about the Trump. Uh, One thing that stands out about the Trump is his unwavering focus on making America respected on the world stage. His commitment to America's pride and standing in the global arena is something he is spoken about frequently. In fact, in this video, you will hear him express his desire to elevate America's status and make it a nation that other countries admire. Let's see one of the things.
Make you the most popular boy on the block. And that's what we did. In that case, we had a decision to make, and we had to make a decision.
Is that something you learned all by yourself, or was it instilled in you by your father or your
Well,
grandparents or anyone?
I think maybe it's something that was instilled, and maybe it's something that you've learned through a little bit of trial and error over the years. I think this country maybe is a good example. I just don't feel the country is going forward in the proper direction. We could have made quick decisions, and we would have been a lot better off than the way we've been sitting around over the last couple of years and just watching everybody else do everything, and we just sit back and take everybody's abuse. It's a very sad situation that somebody isn't there making the decisions and pushing the right and proper, I don't want to use the word buttons, frankly, but pushing the right levers so that we can go out and do things as we're supposed to be doing them.
You are a mover, you are a doer. If you could make America perfect, how would you do it?
Well, I think that America is a country that has tremendous, tremendous potential. I think that much like the mind, I think that America is using very, very little of its potential. I feel that this country with the proper leadership can go on to become what it once was. And I hope, and certainly hope, that it does go on to be what it should be.
What should it be?
Well, it should really be a country that gets the respect of other countries.
Is respect the most important thing in your opinion?
Well, respect can lead to other things. When you get the respect of the other countries, then the other countries tend to do a little bit as you do.
So you see, respect is one of the very important things for him. And that's what we'll watch the video later, what happens in the Oval Office on February 28th, 2025. Let's watch this video more.
And you can create the right attitudes. The Iranian situation is a case in point. That they hold our hostages is just absolutely and totally ridiculous. That this country sits back and allows a country such as Iran to hold our hostages, to my way of thinking, is a horror. And I don't think they'd do it with other countries. I honestly don't think they'd do it with other countries.
Obviously, you're advocating that we should have gone in there with troops, etc., and brought our boys out.
I absolutely feel that, yes. I don't think there's any question, and there's no question in my mind. I think right now would be an oil-rich nation, and I believe that we should have done it, and I'm very disappointed that we didn't do it, and I don't think anybody would have held us in abeyance. I don't think anybody would have been angry with us, and we had every right to do it at the time. I think we've lost the opportunity.
Donald, would you have wanted to be one of those men to have gone to Iran, and have taken those fellows out?
No, I wouldn't have wanted to be, but I would have done it.
Would you?
Absolutely. If I were the age, if I were in the military.
There were a lot of those fellas who went for that aborted coup who were 34 years old and older. They were your age.
That's right.
If you were called upon, would you? I know it's easy to say, yes, of course I would go. But if the phone rang right now and someone from the Selective Service had said, Donald, we're taking every young man 34 years of age, we're sending him to war, would you go to war?
No, I don't see a war. You see, the war this is not a Vietnam situation, fortunately. The war, in fact, with
There
Iraq.
is a war waging there
Yes.
right now.
Oh, yes, there is a war, and it's a war where nobody has any tanks, has any guns. It's a war where everyone's standing around. That would have been the easiest victory we would have ever won, in my opinion.
When I look at television, I see men being shot up, legs being blown off.
You're talking about two non-existent armies. I mean, Iran has an army composed of American equipment without parts and without anything else, and Iraq has a very weak army, and they're just really fighting each other. I mean, it's almost hand-to-hand combat. If you see now, they've run out. It's a sad situation, Rona, but it's a situation which ultimately is going to get much worse. That little sparkle of war, that little sparkle is going to lead, in my opinion, to a much greater conflict, and I think that's very unfortunate. And I think a lot of it has to do with this country and the fact that this country is not more involved in terms of setting policy in that area.
Do you think perhaps that the oil industry is responsible for this, as the late Shah once implied?
Well, I wouldn't want to criticize the oil industry because I wouldn't know enough about it, but I can tell you that I think this country is responsible for that war by its own weaknesses. I don't think you'd have this war if they, again using the other word, if we were respected, properly respected as a country and as a people and as a nation. I don't think that you would have the war going on right now between Iran and Iraq. I don't think that Iran would have our hostages for 10 minutes.
So you see how clear he has in his vision that he's ready to jump in if it is required. Although that he doesn't compare it as a war, it could have been solved with on the negotiation table, and no other country will be disrespecting our lovely nation, United States of America. So let's see in the other questions when he was asked, like, uh, what if you'll become a president? Why don't you do this job? So he thinks it's a dirty job, but if it is required, he'll do it. And that's similar kind of vision I have always in my mind. I used to talk to people in academia that why the people from the very good colleges or very good educated one don't like to enter into the politics, or they discourage their kids to enter into the politics. But because politics affects us all the time at all the steps, politicians are the one who shapes the nations and country. They makes the policies for our future kids. So there there is a great need for good people to enter into the politics and get involved in making policies, no matter what's your inclination of politics, you're Republican or Democrat, but you should get involved into it. Let's watch his earlier video, what he answered about becoming a president.
For some people, the ultimate goal in life has been becoming the President of the United States. Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would, Rona, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
Most people who are capable are not running for office. Most men are frightened of politics today.
It is a shame, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a shame. The most capable people are not necessarily running for political office, and that is a very sad commentary on the country. They had major corporations and they had this and that, but they are not running for political office.
Why wouldn't someone like yourself run for political office? You have all the money that you possibly need. You've accomplished a great deal, even though you are only 34. I know there's a lot of things that you possibly can do in the years ahead. Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile. And that's a sad commentary for the political process.
Television, in a strange way, has ruined that process, hasn't it?
It's hurt the process very much. I mean, the Abraham Lincolns of the world. Abraham Lincoln would probably not be electable today because of television. He was not a handsome man, and he did not smile.
So what's essentially he's saying that people can be
Girls' night!
Hey, remember that place we got burritos from last?
with a smile or about his appearances. So the general public need to do some of their homework in order to choose a right politicians. And once they will be getting involved into the electoral process, to get the right people to be elected, then definitely lots of things will be cleaned. Now, fast forward to today, and we can see the same determination in Donald Trump's actions. A recent example is his meeting with the Ukrainian President Zelensky at the White House on February 28, 2025. It's fascinating to compare Trump's word from years ago with his approach to international relations now. Let's watch few minutes of the latest what happened on February 28th.
Has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on
position
this
to
question.
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're doing.
I'm not
You're
dictating.
in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel very
you will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel
I'm-
very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I was
You don't have the
saying-
cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're
serious,
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War
What do you-
III.
what do you think
You're
about?
gambling with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country,
I'm
that's
with all
back to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States
What
of
are you speaking
America.
about?
So you see, even today, Trump is asking about the respect for this great nation, United States of America. And as you may know about Zelensky, he he got elected in 2019, and because Ukraine was going through some political crisis where there are lots of scams was coming out, and the same moment Zelensky was a comedian, or you can say he was actor, and one of his famous sitcom was released at that same time, which was a similar kind of a story, like one uh, one young person who didn't have any background in the politics. He ran through the presidency and he became president in order to remove all those problems in the society. So people thought uh, that he will be very similar guy uh, to run our country. And he, when he announced for his presidency in 2019, people elected him with a big majority. So that's how he's the president right now. Uh, all right, so guys, this is my initial effort to make some video, bringing something from the past to see what's going on at present, and is it the same reflection from the past. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe and forward to the people so that I can do some research and homework, spend some time to bring similar kind of entertaining video for you, and it's good information, and uh, I'll be very thankful to you. Thank you very much for watching this video.